Hi, everyone. Happy first Monday in March. This is the third month that I've been doing the First Monday series, and I feel like it's gone 50% well. January, I felt like went really well. February did not go well, and I even tried to redo February, and it still did not go well second time around. So here we are in March, trying a new platform, trying a whole new thing, and let's try to make this really great. So the platform that we're on is called Zoom, obviously. I heard about this platform from another coaching friend, and she really likes it. So if you ever have any feedback about the platform or anything, you can always send me an email at amber@climboutofthecubicle.com. In the lower part of your screen, there is a chat button. If you click the chat button, a brand new box will pop up and you can type anything into the chat box if you ever have questions or need to get my attention or anything. I have muted everyone and I can unmute you, and I believe that you have the ability to unmute yourself also. The mute button is on your bottom left-hand corner of your screen. So without further ado, let's get started. This is the workbook for March's First Monday workshop. Today we're talking all about habits, making habits, breaking habits, and getting yourself on the right track. So why are we here? Why is this important, and what are we doing with all of this? So I think that when we are thinking about our goals and our accomplishments and all that we want in life, we know that we have to take massive action to make it all happen. And on the surface, I think we're all pretty much okay with that. But deep down, we know that something has to change in our life. We're going to have to give up something to accomplish the goal that we want. For example, if you want to start working on the draft of your first novel, that might mean you have to change your habit and get up an hour before work to work on it, or work during your lunch break, or not watch crappy reality TV all night and work on your novel in the evening. So that's what I mean about you might potentially have to change your habits if you want to accomplish some of your goals in life. On the other hand, there might just be things in your life that you don't love and you want to change your habits, but you don't really know how. So I'm definitely going to get into all of that. The workbook that I have created for you, which you can find at climboutofthecubicle.com/First Mondays. It's pretty short. I think it's less than 10 pages, but it does have some blank spaces where you can make notes and write. And I also give you some examples of things that have worked in my life when I am changing my habits also. So there are 3 things that I want to focus on for today for this First Mondays workshop series. The first thing is figure out why we have habits. And I don't just mean we, like you and me, ambitious, goal-oriented people. I mean we, the human race, animals, everything does everything based on habits, and I'm going to get into that. The second thing is I want you to think about some areas in your life that need to be reevaluated. I really don't like the term bad habits, because it implies that you're doing something wrong, or that you're wrong, or that something's wrong with you. And I don't subscribe to that at all. I think that habits serve their purpose. Obviously you're doing something for a reason, and you have to be the one to want to change that. So I want us to kind of think about some areas in our life that maybe need to be reevaluated. But I also want to go deeper into that and think about really why do you want to reevaluate this area of your life? The third thing that I want to focus on is how to create a plan to foster positive change. I don't like negative reinforcement at all. I personally do not work well under negative reinforcement. And I think that positive attitude and positive reinforcement is the way to go. So again, all of this is covered in the workbook that you can find at climboutofthecubicle.com/First Mondays. So let me introduce myself. If you don't know me, my name is Amber Monaco, and I'm the owner of Climb Out of the Cubicle. I am a life coach, a blogger, a vlogger, a podcaster. I create digital products. I create live training. And I'm working on a brand new e-course that's coming out in the summer. So I'm pretty busy. Right now, I am traveling the world as a digital nomad. I'm currently living in Bali, a small island in Indonesia, just north of Australia. I've been here Friday. Today's Monday. Friday will be a month, I believe, that I will have been in Bali. I love it here. I've also been traveling around to Thailand and Cambodia, and I've done some smaller trips to Hong Kong and some other places there. But this was not always my life. This is a new change in my life. For the past about 10 years, I was a boring government drone, basically. I worked for the government for almost 10 years in some capacity, and I was bored and unmotivated and wasn't doing anything productive with my life at all. And because of that, I was unmotivated to be a good worker. You know, those days where you're like, oh my God, I don't want to do anything. And then your boss asks you to do one thing and it's really simple. And you're like, oh, I hate everything. You know, like that was me. That was me every single day. And I didn't want to be that kind of person. I didn't want to have that reputation, and I didn't know what to do. I literally didn't know what to do. So I set out on a personal journey quest and figured out what I liked and what I didn't, and put myself in every activity and experience that I thought that I could. And, you know, after this personal journey that's been going on about 5 years now, I have taken the leap to become a digital nomad, and now I live in Bali. So that's pretty awesome. My business, Climb Out of the Cubicle, is coaching business. I do a lot of mentorship, and I create products just like this for you. So it's pretty exciting. This series that I'm doing is called First Mondays. So if you ever tweet about it, feel free to do hashtag First Mondays. First Mondays is a workshop series that I'm doing that's helping you accomplish everything that you want to in life. I talk about goals. I talk about goal setting. I talk about planning. And this month we're talking about habits and how habits in your life can make or break the difference between accomplishing your goal and not. So why do habits matter? Why is this important? And why is this important now? Why am I talking about this? Habits can help you do all of the things that you want in a single day, from menial tasks like brushing your teeth to going to the gym. All of those things are habits. The gym people would call this muscle memory. I don't really know if that's true or not. For me, it's just I like routine. I thrive off of knowing what's coming next. So for me, having a solid habit is really important. The other reason this is really important is because whenever I was putting all of this material together, I was asking people what they thought about habits. Were habits working for them? Did they have habits? Did they want to change their habits? And every single person said yes. Every single person said that there was something in their life that they wanted to change just a little bit to foster success and to change habits to make their life better. The third thing why I believe that this is important is because if you want to achieve any goal, you have to create structure and productivity around what you're doing to make it all happen. So that's what we're doing. That's who I am. And that's why we're here. So if you go into the workbook packet that I emailed to you, if you printed it off, great. If not, just pull it up online. We are on page 4 right now. Page 4. What is a habit? What is a habit? Why does it matter? What does this all really mean? So a habit is basically a set of actions that has been automated. So you're not spending any extra mental energy to do it. It just happens. It just happens because this is what you know to do. So sometimes we call this your routine, right? Like you do things because this is just what you do, right? Like you probably drive the same way to work every day because that's your routine. That's what you do. I bet there are 3 other ways that you could get to work, but that's not how you go. You go the way that you know because that's your routine. That's your habit. Think about some other areas in your life where you have habits. In the morning, you probably have a habit. You wake up, you go to the bathroom, you take a shower, you eat breakfast, you brush your teeth, you get dressed. You know, whatever you do, it's probably the same throughout the day. This is your habit. And it's fine. Nobody's habits are right or wrong. I'm just trying to show you to recognize that things that you do that don't require any mental energy, these are habits in your life. If you wanted to do something different, it would probably feel weird, right? Like if you got up and then brushed your teeth and then had breakfast and then got in the shower. I mean, you still did everything, right? You still checked all the boxes of all the things that you're supposed to do in the morning before you leave the house, but it's not in your routine. It's not your habit. So it's going to feel a little bit off. Feeling a little bit off is going to be completely normal. You just have to adjust and come back to it. Think about something else that you do every single day. Your bedtime routine. I don't know what adults call that. You know, when you get ready for bed, you know, you turn off all the lights, you lock your door, you change into your jams, you get in bed, you read, and then you realize you have to go to the bathroom, and then you get back up, and then you get back in bed, and you open your book again. And then you think, nope, it's time to go to sleep, and you turn off the light, and then you lay there and contemplate the universe, right? Like all of these things that you do, it's probably the same every night. This is your routine. This is your bedtime routine. But at the end of the day, all of this it's a habit. There's a trigger, there's a routine, and there's a reward. That's what a habit is. A trigger, a routine, and then a reward. Whenever I was doing research for this workshop, I found out that 40% of our life is in habit mode. 40%. So that means that you go through your day not really exerting much mental energy in the things that you do. I'm guessing it's going to be, and this is totally a guess and like thinking about my own life, how I get up in the morning and leave the house, how I go to bed at night, how I get to work, how I get home from work, like all of these things that I do, it's just habit for me. It's just routine. It's just what I do. I don't think about it at all. And I personally am so like regimented and organized that I don't even like, I already know what I'm going to wear. You know, like I have a routine and a habit for everything that I do. So there's no extra mental energy going toward this. So the research that I found said 40% of our life is on like autopilot, basically. Like you're just going through your day. The problem is your brain doesn't know what's a good habit and what's a bad habit. Bad in quotations. Not a positive habit. Negative? I don't feel negative is a bad word too. Okay. Your brain can't differentiate between what's really working and good things in your life and what's not really working. And, you know, like the brain can't discriminate. The brain doesn't know. The brain thinks, oh, this works. I'm going to keep doing it. I got to work safely yesterday driving this way. That's a great route to go today. Do you see what I mean? Like, is this making sense? Will you make a note? Am I crazy? Okay. Yeah, that all makes sense. So if you want to change something in your life, you have to think about the areas that you could just alter a habit just a little bit. I'm not saying like do something completely crazy. I'm just saying alter just a little bit. At the bottom of page 4, I've listed some very common habits that people have told me that they want to change. And this is just like me asking my friends and people in my co-working space what they think. And these are some of the top habits. Oversleeping. That was me. I'm not gonna lie. That was me. People want to write every day, whether it's like writing, typing, whether it's journaling, whether it's writing their mom, whatever. For some reason, people want to write more. I think that's great. Apparently, not everybody's doing that. Losing yourself in the internet. And so many people said Facebook. I obviously love social media. I spend a lot of my time there, but I do know that it can be a black hole sometimes. And after dinner snacking or like mindless eating, these were the things that whenever I asked people, these were some habits that people wanted to alter just a little bit. Are these people saying they never want to go on Facebook or they never want to have ice cream before bed? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But there is a difference between what's helping my life, am I being productive doing this, and am I losing myself in it? So at the bottom of page 4, I've listed some areas where people have told me that they want to change some habits just a little bit, and I left some space for you to write in some ideas also. Again, I'm not saying that if you list something here that it has to be, I want to give this up forever. I'm saying, are there places in your life that you could just adjust slightly to have a more positive impact on your day and help you achieve your goals long term? Okay, let's move on to page 5. Page 5 of the workbook. Deciding which areas of your life need to be reevaluated. It's very easy to think about all of the things in your life that that you want to change. I think that's very natural, right? Like, it's very easy to think about the areas in your life where you don't feel proud or you don't feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't know, up to snuff? I was an English major. I don't know why I can't think of this word. Like, you don't feel like you're doing enough. I don't want you to think about that. I want you to think about the real reason, like the real reason behind why you want to make a small change in your habits. Because habits have a function, right? Everything that you do has a function. You're obviously alive and doing well and a successful adult, right? So what you're doing is working. So how can you change something just a little bit? I believe that there is a big difference between brushing your teeth and flossing every day to make sure that you don't have cavities, and mindless binge eating at night to hide emotional stress, right? Like, those are different. Those habits are different. Flossing and brushing your teeth every day is a really great way to maintain oral hygiene. Mindless eating at night so that you don't have to feel your emotions is not great. Those are both habits. Your brain can't tell the difference. Your brain doesn't know what's good or bad, positive or negative. Your brain just says, it's time to brush your teeth. It's time to floss. It's time to have another whole sliver of Oreos. You know, what are they called? Stack of Oreos. You know what I mean? How Oreos come in? Never mind. Your brain can't tell the difference between all of that. That's up to you. That's what makes, humans so great, right? Is that we can say, oh, brushing my teeth and flossing is really great for me. Having another 14 Oreos, maybe not so great. You have to be the one to tell the difference in your life. You're the only one that's going to be able to look into the details of your life to know how this all fits in. So I want you to think about why these habits are really important, how it's really going to impact you, and what is the long-term effect. I know this sounds really abstract, so I want to give you a very, very real example from my life. I am a night owl. I've talked about this so much that I prefer to stay up late and get up late. It's what I want. It's what I want. Like deep down, I want to sleep till noon every single day. But I know that I can't. I know rationally that I can't do it. But even though I know that rationally, that's not enough for me, right? Should we all go outside and run 3 miles a day? Maybe. Would it be great for all of our health? Maybe. But that's not enough for me, right? Like, I don't care about running at all. Like 0% do I care about running. So that's not good enough for me to rationalize why I should do it. I need more. I need more than that. So this is where thinking about the real reason comes into play. So getting back to sleeping in. It's very natural for me to sleep in. It's very natural for me to stay up late. I enjoy every bit of it. But I know that I need to change this habit to be more productive and accomplish my goals. That's fine, but I still need more than that. So let me break this down for you. The real reason, not the real reason. There are a few reasons why getting up earlier for me is really important. And this is what I want you to do in your life. When there's something in your life that you want to change, I want you to start thinking about the real reasons why. And I left you space. What are we on? Page 5. I left you space on this page to write down the real reasons. So for me, the real reason I want to get up early is because I want to be up and moving around and at a place with good internet to call my family. I'm living on the other side of the world. My morning is their evening. If I want to talk to my sister, I have to get up early. That's it. That's it. If I don't get up early, I don't talk to my family and friends. That's a great reason, right? Another reason number 2, I want to make the most of my productivity. I know I am more productive if I get up in the morning and have a full work day. I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it. It's a struggle, but I know. But productivity is more important to me than sleeping till noon every day. So that's another real reason. That's a real reason for me to make a solid effort to get up at a real time. I also want to see the sun. I know it sounds silly, especially if you're in North America, but I'm in Bali right now, and the closer you are to the equator, the sun is only up from about 6 a.m. to about 6 p.m. And that's it. And it gets dark, like dark. There are hardly any street lights. It's like pitch black by 7 p.m. And, that's fine. But if I just got up if I got up at noon, I'm not to the office until 2, I do not have that long of sunlight. And I know it might sound trivial, but that's how I thrive. That's where I do well. That's how I focus. So these reasons are more important to me and have a better, more positive impact on my life than my old habit of sleeping in. So does that make sense? I had an old habit. I kind of liked it. But I knew that it wasn't serving me to the greatest potential. So to change it, I have to think about why, right? Because I just can't rationalize. It's not going to work for me, Otherwise we would just eat like vegetables all day, right? Like you can't rationalize it that much. So I had to think about the real reasons in my life, real solid reasons, practical, applicable reasons why this has to change. I want to talk to my family and friends. I want to be productive, and I want to see the sun. Those are real reasons that matter to me. So that's why I'm willing to make an effort to change my habits. So habits are kind of difficult to break because it's so routine to us. And it's very easy to fall back into our old ways because we don't really understand, how it all works. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but a habit is basically a trigger in your life, the routine that you do, and then you get some type of reward. So for me, I won't ever wake up. I'll just sleep till noon. That's just what happens. I go to bed at night. That's my trigger. I sleep in. That's my routine. And then my reward is I wake up after 12 hours of sleep and feel amazing, right? This is the cycle of every single habit. Let me let me break it down to something that we can all relate to. This is a habit. Your phone dings or vibrates. That's a trigger. Something happened. Something happened, your phone dings. This is an indication that something has happened and you need to take action. So you follow your routine. You mindlessly can reach your phone. Can you all reach your phone? Is your phone within arm distance right now without standing up? Can you touch your phone? Bet you can. Bet you can. Okay, so your phone dings. Something has to happen. You reach, you find your phone. You probably don't even need to look at it. If you have an iPhone, you can probably just put your thumb on it. If you have an Android, you have a thing, right? A code that goes like this. And you can probably just do it, right? Without even looking. Just put your thumb on there and your phone's just gonna open. Or whatever happened just appears on your screen and you just look. The reward is you get to find out what happened, which is pretty great, right? Did somebody call you? Do you need to answer? Did somebody reply to your Facebook post? Someone, comment on your Instagram, right? Like the reward is you get to find out what happens. And it's nice, right? Like it's nice to know. Otherwise, you wouldn't have any notifications on your phone. You would never know if someone texted you or called you or commented on your post. But it's nice. You want to know. So there's a routine that happens. There's a trigger, a routine, and then you get a reward. Your phone dings, you pick it up, you look at it, you find out what happened, and then you move on. That's a habit. That's a routine. So for me, sleeping in came very naturally. It's very easy to do all of that. But this affects your long-term lifestyle, your long-term goals, if it's not serving you, if it's not working well. I know a lot of people who have turned off all notifications on their phone. Excuse me. They don't want to know anything that happens until they pick up their phone. I personally couldn't live like that, but I also don't struggle with it. If you struggle with it, then there are things that you can do in your life. Which brings me to page 6 in your workbook. Page 6. This is what it looks like. Creating a plan. What's it say? Yeah. Creating a plan to foster new habits. Positive way to do this. Positive way to do this. Because even if you make a change, you stop biting your nails, you start writing every day, you stop losing yourself on Facebook, whatever you do, you're just creating a new habit for yourself, right? Like your whole world is made up of habits. Remember, 40% of your day is on autopilot. The pattern is the same. There's a trigger, there's a routine, and then you get a reward. That's not changing. That's not changing. The problem is that making this happen, going through this change, is no fun. Like at all. 0% fun. Like change is hard. Let's all agree to that, right? Like change is hard and sometimes it sucks. And it's easy to get discouraged and it's easy to fall back into your old ways. This is very natural and very normal. So what we have to do is create a plan to stay moving in the positive direction through positive reinforcement. So how can we do that? I know that this sounds silly, this whole like positive reinforcement thing. And I want to address it for just a second. Because we're not children, right? Like we don't need a sticker that says good job. We don't need to make a chart, like a chore chart basically and give yourself gold stars. We're adults, right? The problem about adults, all adults, I guess. Let me get philosophical here. The problem is that we don't treat ourselves very well at all, right? Like we're kind of mean to ourselves. We say mean things to ourselves. We take really terrible action. We don't set ourselves up for success. Sometimes we sabotage ourselves. We would never treat other people how we treat ourselves. So I think this is an excellent place to start treating yourself a little bit better by reinforcing yourself in a positive manner. Positive, positive, positive reinforcement. Do you remember that scientist Pavlov? Remember the guy with the dogs? You know, like he had those dogs and he did the experiment that if he rang the bell, the dogs would salivate because the bell indicated that it was time for food. Great. So that he was doing an experiment about habits, right? Like he rings the bell, the dog knows I'm hungry. The dog knows the bell's the trigger. I'm going to get some food. And then he salivates and then, habit, right? So Mr. Pavlov was kind of a mean guy and he monitored all of this behavior. And then he used negative reinforcement if the dogs didn't cooperate by administering a mild shock. Just a little shock to these dogs, right? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't shock yourself. Don't be mean to yourself. Don't call yourself a loser. Don't think that you're a failure or that you're stupid, because you're not at all. You just need to readjust. You need to create positive behavior in your life. You are the only one who's going to know what works for you in this area. I'm going to give you some ideas, and I have a space in this workbook to write down some ideas that work for you. But this is all you. This is all about what motivates you and how motivated you are and how empowered you are in yourself. If you're thinking, I don't know what motivates me, I don't even know what positive reinforcement is, no fear, my friend. I have some ideas. The problem is I could not think of, ask, or find too many ideas online. And this is a bad sign, because this just shows how mean adults are to themselves. But here are some ideas of positive reinforcement that I want you to think about and use in your own life. Positive praise. Positive praise. Hi, Amber. You're not a failure. You're doing a good job. You're trying really hard. You're putting in all of the effort that you can, right? This is positive praise. Sorry, I'm so parched. It's like 1,000 degrees in this room. The air conditioner is on, 19 degrees Celsius. Still not working. I don't even know what that means. I just moved it to 18 degrees Celsius. I have no idea what that means. The metric system is hard for me. Anyways, okay. Positive praise. Positive praise. You could give yourself a bonus. Give yourself a bonus. So maybe you allow yourself, a certain amount of your play money or your spending money this month. Maybe give yourself a bonus and allow yourself to do something a little more. Maybe you could give yourself a treat. Go to a movie. Reread your favorite book. Something like that. Rent something on demand, right? Like do something that you would never normally do for yourself as a luxury. You can do that, right? Like we're adults. You can buy a movie on demand. You can. You can go buy yourself a small present. Small present. Small. Tiny. Like bag of M&Ms. Something like that. Don't go crazy and say, I deserve this. I deserve a new MacBook. I deserve a new car, right? Like that's crap. Pull yourself back in. Pull yourself back in, like you're just making small adjustments in your life. You're trying to better yourself. Don't go crazy, but do something for yourself. Do something small. Do something nice. Go get a manicure. Go get a pedicure. Go get a massage. When was the last time you got a massage? When? When was the last time you got a massage? Tell me in the chat box. When? We don't take care of ourselves. That is a never. Are you serious? Girl, you better make an appointment. You better make an appointment tomorrow for your first massage. It's something small. It's a great way to reward yourself. It's an hour completely for you. Completely for you. What a great reward for yourself. Positive reward. Something else you could do, this may be my favorite, is get dessert next time you go to dinner. Get dessert. Take half of your food home, have it for lunch tomorrow, and then get dessert. You know? What a great way to reward yourself. What a great way to say, you're doing a really great job. This is hard. Change sucks. And I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best, and I'm getting dessert. Right? Like, how wonderful is that? What a great way to tell yourself that you're doing well. You're doing well. You're trying. You're making change in your life. This is big. This is big. And positive reinforcement works. How do I know? Because it works in my life. I do not respond well to negative reinforcement at all. At all. Like, you know how there are those people that go to the gym and they need their trainer to like be a bully and get in their face and like, you suck, right? Like, no. I really want my trainer to be like, you are so pretty. I can't stand how pretty you are. Like, that's what I need, right? And I know this about myself. Positive reinforcement works. But you need to figure out what type of positive reinforcement works in your life. Do you need just a small reward? You know, would it be nice to have some positive words coming at you? Sure. You can do this for yourself. You can treat yourself really, really well. You can schedule a massage and go get a massage. Absolutely. You can absolutely do that. Positive reinforcement works. So in the workbook, page 6, I have listed some ideas of positive reinforcement that you can take action on in your life. If these do not work for you, and one of them is going to work. How many are there? 4, 8, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's 8 ideas here. 8 ideas here. I just listed a few. There are 8 ideas in the workbook. One of these is going to work for you. I promise. If they don't, if none of these ideas work for you and you can't think of any ideas, I want you to email me. Email me, amber@climboutofthecubicle.com. There is a way to have positive reinforcement in your life. Absolutely. Don't be Pablo. Don't shock yourself, okay? All right. Last thing I want to talk about. We're doing great on time. What happens if it doesn't work? What happens if you try and you fall off the bandwagon? What do we do? This is real. This is big. This is big and it's real and it's going to happen. I'm not even going to lie. I was about to say something like, no, it's going to be great. No, that's a big fat lie. It's going to suck to change your habits. It's going to be hard and you're going to revert back to your old ways. It absolutely happens. It happens to me. It happens to you. Happens to everyone. So what can you do? What can you do? I have 3 ideas. 3 ideas. These are all in the workbook. I left all of this blank space here for you to take notes. Write all of this down. Write down ideas of what you're going to do if something doesn't work out. If you have a slip up, write it down. First thing I want you to do is go easy on yourself. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from what happened. Take an objective look at what happened. Remove yourself. Take a look at what happened and why. And then refer back to page 5 and the real reason that you're doing whatever you're doing. There's a reason that you're doing it, right? So if something happens, you can refer back to this to remind yourself. Go easy on yourself. It's okay. Be calm. Something else I want you to do is to begin celebrating. We don't give ourselves enough credit for what we do. And I think that's because we like to set really lofty goals and then we don't feel like we can celebrate unless we accomplish that really big thing, right? Like if you have a goal of writing 10,000 words and you've never written 500 words in one sitting, 10,000 words seems like a lot, right? Like that's a lot. It's daunting. But if you celebrate every 1,000 words as you go, it's going to make it so much better. So much better. It's the same with money. If you have a goal of saving $1,000, $1,000 is a lot of money. That's a big goal. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen next paycheck. But if you can save $100 and then celebrate, you're going to be way more motivated to keep going and to keep saving. Do you see what I mean? But there's going to be some months that you can't save, or you don't, or you get a flat tire, or, you know, your sister needs a new kidney. I don't know. There's going to be times when you can't keep going at the pace that you want to. That's okay, but you still have to keep celebrating yourself. You still have to acknowledge how you're trying and you're doing all the right things and you're moving forward. Do you see what I mean? Does that make sense? I think it does. If I'm not making sense, say something in the chat box, okay? The third thing I want you to think about when we're talking about having a slip up, things not going well, is that perfection is not the goal. First of all, it's not real. Perfection is not real. And second of all, it's not the goal. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is not to write the next great American novel the next time you sit down at your computer. The goal is to just write. The goal is not to save all the money for your retirement with your next paycheck. The goal is to save a little bit as you go. Do you see what I mean? The goal is not perfection. The goal is not to just like be done and then move on. That's not the goal. The goal is to work at it. The goal is to keep trying. Perfection is not real. Perfection is not real. So, habits. You can absolutely make change in your life by adjusting something very small. But you have to figure out what's working and what's not, and what you want to change, and then why. Why do you want to make the change in your life? This is the only way that you're going to see positive change happening. I really believe that if you can commit to changing a habit, to altering your habits, then you can make your goals reality. You can make your dreams come true. You'll be able to write that novel. You'll be able to save the money that you want. You will be able to do it. You just have to make the adjustment to make it happen. I also want to say one last time that change is hard and it sucks and it's no fun. It's very easy to fall into the old ways. It's very easy to go back because you remember what we talked about earlier, that's the routine that your brain knows. And your brain can't differentiate between what's working and what isn't. Your brain just knows this is keeping me alive. Everything's going well. Keep doing it. It's hard to rewire your brain. It's hard to retrain your brain to do something different. But I want you to know that you're not alone. And there's a community around you. All the people that are watching this, there's a community around you right now who want to be change makers in their life, who want to do something different. I'm here for you. This community is here for you. The Climb Out of the Cubicle Facebook page, absolutely. I mean, Twitter, all of that. This community of people who want positive change in their life is absolutely, absolutely there for you. So we've come to the end of our workshop. I hope that this was massively helpful for you. If you have any questions, please, please, please send me an email, amber@climboutofthecubicle.com. You can always find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @TheAmberMonaco, THE Amber Monaco. And I host these workshops completely for free, no sales pitch at the end, every first Monday. So the next one is April 4th, which is a Monday, 8 a.m. No, that's a lie. 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want more free resources from me, you can check out my blog at climboutofthecubicle.com. I also have a podcast on iTunes and Stitcher. It's called Climb Out of the Cubicle. If you need anything else, please send me an email, and I will see you next month. Bye.